Must be weird not having anybody come on you.
Oh, welcome to the Unrealistic Elephant Podcast. Oh man, we're really in it.
Yeah, we are.
Listen, I think there is a certain point where you sort of hit the weird sex movie event horizon, and it's just like I think I too so bad it's good and too close to the sun this time.
Yeah, no, it's diminishing returns, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You try to chase that high so much.
Yeah.
Eventually you're gonna get disappointed.
Yeah, no more heroin hero for us.
Yeah, no more heroin hero.
Yeah, this is the last one for a while, unless
Oh, who's to say? Who's to say? We actually don't know.
Yeah, like we have guest stars coming on soon.
Yeah, so stay tuned for
might
that.
Have some other fucked up stuff, but
who's to say? It might be amazing. It might be terrible. I'm excited to find out.
But I'm done trying to one up you. So I mean, for me personally, I think this is the last for a while.
This is the one where it's like we're both sitting in the wreckage of the city that is this podcast, and we're looking down at Showgirls, and we're like, we really went too far this time, didn't we? This is it. Like, this is our come to God moment.
Anyway, I guess before we get into it too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So
my pick for this month's episode was Showgirls. This is a movie that I didn't really know anything about going in. Very much just knew about it based on like reputation. Yeah. As it was a movie that won Worst Picture at the Razzies that year. I think at the time I read somewhere that it was nominated for the most Razzies at the time, like in 1995.
I read somewhere that the screenwriter won the most amount of Razzies.
Wow.
And that was like for like all the different performances and stuff and everything that he was involved in. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so I knew it was bad, but I guess I didn't really know to what extent. Like I knew that that a lot of people were interested in it. And I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about, not in terms of like the story, but in terms of like the movie itself and like the sort of the culture that is sort of fostered, I guess. But so like what did you know anything about this before we sort of went into it?
Well, I mean, I knew a few things about it. I knew that it was directed by Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, see, this is something I didn't even know.
Yeah, who also directed RoboCop and Starship Troopers and Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct is insane. To think of the guy who made Basic Instinct made this.
Well, not only that, but he had the same writer on this one as he did on Basic Instinct, which was Joe Esteraz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Joe Esteraz has written other movies like Flashdance, Jade, an Alan Smithy movie, or an Alan Smithy film, Burn Hollywood Burn. Most of his movies do not get good reception.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that he's an excellent pitcher when it comes to these projects, probably. Basic Instinct is the only other movie I've seen that's written by him, and I wasn't that big on that movie, but
it's another one like it's like based on like this erotic like idea of like, but it's like a thriller. This is very much like
that was something where, but when Basic Instinct came out, it was not that well received critically, but financially it did gangbusters.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. But the reason I bring that up is because I read somewhere that Paul Verhoeven and Joe Esteraz kind of had this mindset going into Showgirls where it's just like, well, fuck the critics, we can do what we want and we'll make a lot of money.
And I can tell that.
Yeah, and they've both kind of expressed regrets, I'd say, when it comes to certain things in this movie. I don't know if they've denounced it entirely, but yeah, they definitely talked about their hubris going into and how it kind of affected the project. And
looking at it with that lens, it's very easy to see this as like a spite movie, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking like Paul Verhoeven's End of Evangelion. Like just like, you don't like what I make? Well, this is good. You're gonna fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, I have liked other Paul Verhoeven movies. I mean, I liked RoboCop and Starship
Who
Troopers.
doesn't like
and-
RoboCop?
Yeah, and Total Recall I thought was probably his best that
Yeah.
I've seen from him.
He's an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah. But, Basic Instinct and Hollow Man I was not that big on.
Right.
This one's probably worse than both of those, I would say.
Yeah.
But, I'll have to check out his other movies.
Yeah, for sure.
But, and then I kind of knew going into... Well, I didn't know until right before that Kyle MacLachlan was in it.
Yeah, Agent Dale Cooper himself.
Yeah.
I did not know that. He just sort of walked in frame, and I was like, that's Agent Dale Cooper. I know that fucker anywhere.
Yeah, and so that was basically... I mean, I knew that it was about strippers. That's all I knew. Yeah.
It's about strippers.
Yeah, and I think that I maybe knew that it took place in Vegas, and that's about it.
I probably didn't even know that. I feel like the most I've seen is maybe like a couple That Guy with the Glasses people reviewing it that I completely don't remember. But I basically went into this totally blind. Yeah. And
you came out wanting to blind yourself.
I really did. I really did. That's the main thing with this movie is, it sort of goes. It's definitely trying to titillate the same way Basic Instinct did, but with a different type of story.
Yeah.
But I don't know who decided. Was there an intimacy coordinator on set? Was there anyone who had been intimate before on set? Just a guy who's had sex at some point maybe would be good, because everybody's giving a performance like drama kids in high school who have never gotten laid before in their lives.
Yeah, especially when it comes to pool sex.
Oh my god,
that part made me really
I'll say that right now.
actually.
I'll say that right now. We will get there, but that part is probably the only piece of joy I ever felt in this movie.
So, yeah, with this movie, it got an NC-17 rating, which is something that most film studios will not let you do because they're worried about when you get an NC-17 rating, you can't really play your movie in a whole lot of theaters.
Yeah, exactly.
And because of that actually hurt Showgirls quite a bit. Now, Showgirls did do better on home video when it came out, and it eventually grew to be one of the most profitable NC-17 movies of all time. I think I read it was second last to Last Tango in Paris. So,
oh wow!
So, which I haven't seen. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of excessive sex in this movie, which whatever. I've seen Caligula.
Exactly. I think that we've very much prepared ourselves for this.
Yeah, no, I'd probably have a different reaction if we did this before we did Caligula.
If we did this before Pooh, that would be one thing.
Yeah. So, so the movie, I would say, has a lot of scenes that feature nudity, but...
they're definitely naked.
They're definitely naked, so they know how to take off clothes.
We got that.
I don't know, maybe... I mean, I'm not, a big stripper guy in the first place. I don't really find that erotic very much, so...
Yeah, no, that's the only thing I could think of is, I don't understand strip clubs just as a concept. It's this is gross. I can smell this fucking room through the TV. This just... I don't know how...
Just, I can't touch them. I can't touch myself.
So what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah, it's just
I'm
going
go home
there
and
to get teased and come out with a big erection and then not do anything with it until I drive home and hopefully I still got my boner by then.
Yeah,
but
for real. What are you gonna do? Depending on how far you are from home, you maybe don't want to keep that the whole time.
Yeah, and so that's why it never bothered me that Paul Rubens jacked off in a porno theater.
Exactly.
It's just what else are you gonna do in a porno theater?
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna say this right now. What honestly are the rules in a porno theater? Who is going to see a porno in a theater to what? Just enjoy the
film?
film?
People who go to strip clubs, I guess, who just go and
I don't understand
they get teased and they can't do anything with it. So I was never into this. I've been to Vegas once and I hated it. And so that's partially because my dad got pickpocketed while we were on the strip after 15
Jesus
minutes.
Christ.
We were literally in Vegas for less than an hour and my dad got pickpocketed.
Oh my God.
And so,
which is funny because that's basically exactly what happens in this movie.
Yeah,
actually.
no, it's kind of accurate that way to the Vegas lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah, she shows up and immediately gets robbed.
Yeah, and so honestly, so I started watching this movie, and for the first 10 minutes, I was kind of like, this isn't horribly shot.
Exactly.
This
That
isn't,
was
terribly acted yet. It did become terribly acted
Ooh.
as it went on. But I'm like, there is kind of a style here.
Yeah.
And, like, I can kind of see what the movie's trying to do in terms of, like, focusing on a sex worker and making it their story.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, this doesn't seem that bad so far. And then it kind of, as soon as, like, they start going to the dance clubs and they start going to, like, audition and stuff, like, the tone starts to get really, really weird. Where
really
it starts to be this, like, I guess you could call it satirical version of reality. I don't even know if I would say that. Apparently, I'll get into that because the Joe Esters has actually said that the movie was written as a satire and nobody realized it till later.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that's not like a Room situation where I just don't believe that at all.
Exactly.
I can kind of see that a little bit with this.
From the beginning, and like right to the end, it's like clearly they're trying to like play off of expectations of a certain character that would be in these movies.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of movies like this, I think it's like Star is Born narratives, like little country whatever rises up to the top and becomes the biggest name in blank.
Well, yeah, exactly. And in fact, if you want to see another movie that does that with sex workers, you can watch Boogie Nights, which is way better than
There
this.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
PTA already did this well before Paul Verhoeven.
But not only that. So, like, Boogie Nights is a great example of, like, how to do a story like this a little bit better. Since this movie has come out, like, pretty much all of Sean Baker's movies have been about sex workers, like Enora and Tangerine and Red Rocket and, like, all these other things.
And they're all good.
Yeah, and Sion Sono has made movies about sex workers, like Guilty of Romance. He's made anti-porno. He's made a bunch of other stuff along those lines. And so I can kind of see what this movie was trying to do with showing you how fucked up and depraved this world is, and kind of like having a main character that you can gravitate towards. They failed at that part.
Yeah.
But with all of that said, like, this is kind of like the worst case scenario of what you would imagine one of those movies being like, in terms of like being exploitative, not really like humanizing the characters very much. Well, they're trying to in certain cases, but they fail. And, just being kind of a mockery of everything that's going on and not really, getting into any of the nuance, any into the human emotion, portraying these people like real people. Like, this movie just, it fails at so many other things that I've seen other movies do. And another thing is, too, there's also the angle of this where it's showing Vegas as, like, an absolute hellhole. And it's kind of showing it as, like, the worst of, America and everything like that.
Which I agree with.
Yeah. But here's the thing. 2 years before this movie, Casino came out, and a few years after this movie, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas came out. So why would you ever, out of like all the 90s movies that portray Vegas as this hellhole, why would you ever go to Showgirls? Like, it's
for real. Like they definitely do their best to try to do that, but like they fail in almost every aspect. Like they try to take like Nomi as a character is interesting at first, and then until she starts acting more.
Which is to say the character acting in her performances, right? Like
yes, exactly. It's I don't understand what message I'm supposed to take away. And I guess by the end of this, that's what I'm hoping to figure out is what were they trying to tell me?
Yeah.
So I guess like for a movie like this, you sort of it's hard to break down the plot of this movie because it's really like the same things happening over and over again.
Extremely repetitive. I mean, I guess we could go into the inciting incident that kicks it all off.
Yes, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah, so Nomi, or what was her name before?
Her name is Nomi.
Okay.
I just Nomi.
So Nomi travels to Vegas. She hitchhikes to Vegas, actually, and then, threatens her hitchhiker. And again, that scene, didn't mind it. I was like, okay, pretty good. This is all right.
There was this moment where I was like, okay, I can't really tell if this is just sort of filmed and acted like a movie that's produced in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because it has a very different vibe.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it is. I was starting to doubt myself. I was like, is this just a normal movie? And it was overblown.
And so because I mean it is made by a real filmmaker who does do good stuff, so you see elements of that in this. And so Nomi goes to Vegas. She basically becomes a stripper, or like whatever you call them, the strip shows in Vegas. I forget. A showgirl.
Showgirl. I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah, and she starts to like train under this like well-known stripper,
Crystal.
There we go. And she starts to like kind of like mimic her and then get jealous of her and try to usurp her. And I just watched All About Eve. It did that story way better than this did. So, and she also has her friend who she lives with, and this guy with dreadlocks who kind of comes and goes, and I don't really understand what the point of him was, but he's there. He comes and he goes, and he works different jobs, and so, yeah. And so it's basically Nomi climbing this ladder in her professional career to become the top dog in Vegas. So, yeah, I guess that's basically the plot. And when I say basically, I mean entirely, really, because what else happens?
Nothing. Up until the last 15 minutes, everything that happens, it happens exactly as you think it would. You've got your scummy producers. You've got your creepy motherfuckers who are just trying to take advantage. It's there by the hour mark, hour and a half, I was just I can't believe we're still going.
No, it's really
it was such a slog. Because I think that they were really. They must have known that, because it feels like they very much try to pad these things out with these dance and nude scenes. They very much were trying to supplement that.
He's not even joking. A good hour of the movie is dancing scenes, nude scenes, business executives acting like dickheads, Nomi hanging out with her roommate doing things in Vegas. And then just those three things on repeat.
Yeah. I have a question. What is this movie's beef with Japanese businessmen? So there's 3 Asian people in this movie, and they are all creepy old bastard Japanese businessmen who want to have sex with white people in Las Vegas.
So that's the thing too. Is that we talk a lot about. Or, well, we don't talk a lot about, people talk a lot about, gender politics and all these different things.
And we're going to talk. I have a lot of things to say about that.
Yeah, well, I want to get into that right now, actually.
Okay.
So with all these different gender politics, people dividing into these groups, and I'm just a humanist. I mean, if you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. And and you can be a good person who's male, who's female, who's trans. You can be a bad person who's any of those things. And it is what it is. And so this movie manages to be disparaging towards both men and women.
Yeah, it somehow makes everyone. It's the opposite of that. It's everyone's awful, no matter how they are.
Yeah, so because with the women, it does nothing but sexualize them. It doesn't build them up. It makes them look like bimbos and backstabbers and jealous cunts. And for the men, it just makes them all look creepy and sleazy. And there's literally no one side you can be on in this cast. You can't call it a pro-feminist movie. You can't call it a anti-feminist movie. This doesn't appeal to anybody. Which I would be okay with if there was some nuance, there was some point. But this is just poorly written characters that are just one-dimensional and have one purpose.
Yeah, it's that's the big thing with Nomi is. Her character in this movie is that she wants to be taken seriously as broadly speaking, an artist.
Yeah.
She is a dancer. She wants to be a dancer. She wants to do basically what Crystal is doing at the Goddess.
Yeah.
But she's dancing at a strip club, which one quick aside, I've never been to a strip club. I don't think that there's comedy bits in between the strippers, right? Like
I
I don't like, again, I don't know anything. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't, like, they don't have like some fat lady come out and show her tits and be like, my tits are huge and I'm big and fat and ugly, and everyone's like, woo!
'Cause I don't think I've been to a strip club. I've been to clubs that have strippers in them, but I don't think they were like strip clubs.
Right. The stripping was secondary.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so Nomi is, depicted as this very promiscuous person. She is, the way she dances is inherently sexual. The James, the dreadlocks guy that she meets, is explicitly says this multiple times, is that she dances like she fucks. And she does. There is a part where she dances Kyle MacLachlan to completion in the middle of the strip club.
Yeah.
I guess like in the back room, but still, it is she there. I don't know if it's the actress who plays Nomi. It's Elizabeth Berkley, and I don't know a whole lot about her.
She was on Saved by the Bell.
Yes, that's all I know. Is she was on Saved by the Bell in some capacity. I never watched Saved by the Bell, so I couldn't tell you who.
I think she was one of the main cast listing, but again, I haven't watched it either. I just
there you go. But yeah, it's like she gets this job, and then she is like, Crystal is sort of this character where she's sort of like pushing her buttons and trying to get under her skin. It feels like sort of a tightrope walk that they're trying to do, of like this rival and enemy and teacher, sort of like all of it in one. But Nomi is so up her own ass about not being seen as like a whore that anytime anyone even alludes to the idea, she fucking storms out. It's like a fucking, like, and I get that's her character. She has a short fuse and she doesn't take shit from anybody. Yeah. I could respect that in a character, but she is lying to herself, and it's not in like a way that is written well. It is like she is clearly very easily swayed by the use of, like, fame, and like she'll do anything for it. Like and if you are going to do anything for that, if you're gonna do anything for fame, including having sex with Agent Dale Cooper in his pool while being possessed by the devil, like you are that. Like that's the whole. Every time they called her a whore and she freaked out, me and Avery were just sitting down here like, you are one of those. That is you. That's okay, girl. But like,
it's like Lola Bunny.
It's exactly like Lola Bunny.
Doll.
Don't call me doll type shit.
Yeah.
And you know,
and that's like a common thing with like these like rising star stories, is that like it talks about like how their fame goes to their head. The problem is that in a lot of those stories, they usually start from a genuine, honest place of being a good person.
Yeah.
And then they get corrupted by the system.
And I think they really did think that they did that. They just failed.
But there's no part of this where like Nomi, I mean, maybe at the beginning when like she kind of threatens the driver, like that had a little bit of nuance in the sense of like, okay, like, she has to like stick up for herself. Like this is like, I can understand why she's doing this, because she's
especially. I'll say this. This is again something fair to say about the movie. With the twist at the end, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like when you find out what her past was, I kind of figured it like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
But like once it's confirmed, it's like, okay, well that explains why she acts like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, with her, you could see like there was kind of this maybe attempt, especially with her roommate when they were kind of like in
Molly. Molly's her
yes.
name.
So especially with Molly, when Nomi and Molly were going around Vegas, I think that they were trying to humanize her in those scenes. I didn't really feel any like human emotion. It just kind of seemed them doing stuff.
Yeah,
though
they were just sort of walking around, and there's like a big time skip of like multiple weeks, and they're just like best of friends now.
Yeah,
it really feels like they sort of ass pulled that.
Yeah,
like they just like she fucking meets Molly because she's crashing out because her suitcase got stolen. Yeah, and then Molly's like, "What the fuck, lady?" And then they get into a fight, and then she buys her a drink and asks her to live with her. It's such whiplash. Yeah. It just like is it like girl solidarity? I always think it's funny whenever a man writes a movie about primarily girls and like the bond between girls. Because I'll say this right now, I don't know anything about that. If someone asked me to write
but I mean, you can look into something like that.
Of
You can
course.
do it with like nuance and taste. That's like saying a woman can't write a movie about a male friendship. It's just
yeah, no,
you can do
that's fair. That's fair. No, that's fair. No, completely. I just think that you need to take the genuine perspective into account, because
Yeah,
when women come to this movie, which I'm sure a couple did, they're going to feel like, I don't know. I would feel like shit if this is like, oh, so this is when you're trying to present Nomi as genuine, and this is her being genuine. Like, there's the scene. Oh my god! And again, Elizabeth Berkley's fucking awful in this. She's absolutely terrible. There's a scene where it's like, why are you doing this? She's like, I don't know, and then she like puts her head down on the car, and like genuine like belly laughter came out of me. Like, we were really supposed to be, feeling for her and her emotions, but I just did not.
Yeah. And what you were saying earlier about, researching and stuff, apparently Verhoeven and Esterhaz actually did go to Vegas and interviewed like 200 different strippers in preparation for this.
Wow.
And they were wanting to know about like all the different corrupt like nature of like, Vegas and everything like that. But it kind of seems to me like they didn't ask them anything about like their humanity or anything like that.
No, just about like
and like, I mean, again, I don't know how these conversations went. Maybe they were very nice to them, but like, I'm just saying that like, based on their research, it's like, okay, I get the depravity that you've shot and captured in this. I don't get the humanity, which I think was supposed to be there, and it's not.
Exactly. It's really not. I don't feel like any of these are real people.
Yeah.
Especially fucking like some of the weirder side characters, like James. I want to talk about James, because what the fuck is the deal with James?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is the only two people in the movie who are not terrible are Molly and James.
I love James.
They're still just kind of like best case scenario out of anybody in this movie. They're not that well developed or anything.
Yeah, it's not even that James is like a good guy.
Yeah.
He's just better in comparison.
Yeah,
like he cheats, and he's a womanizer. He's very much just like all of the men, like the sleazy men in this movie, in personality. Like, he is very much easily swayed by women, and like, but he's very much portrayed as like, oh no, he's different, because he sort of gets out of it by the end, which was so weird. Like like you have this character that's sort of like this through line of Nomi's like journey, like it's from the start to the end. Like, every once in a while they'll meet up by chance and exchange words and sort of set the stage of where they are. And James like moves like whenever he can't have Nomi, he moves past it quite quickly, and that makes her upset, and he's just lives rent free in her head for the like it's very weird, and like, I don't understand what him giving up on his dream at the end means. Like, why? Like, what are we supposed to take from that? That this guy, who is pretty much the nicest, it feels like a lot to say. Comparatively, the nicest and most decent guy in this whole movie, who actually, I'm going to say the only person who gives Nomi any genuine praise and feedback on her art.
Except for Molly.
Yeah, we'll say Molly. The only male character, I'll say.
Okay, there we go.
Then he just sort of gives up at the end, and he just says like, "Yeah, I give up. We're gonna have a baby, and it's gonna be that I'm not gonna do it anymore." And then he exits the story with like 30 minutes left. Yeah. It really feels like I expected him to show up at the end or something, but no, he never shows up again, and it really feels like sort of a wet fart of an ending to his story. It really feels like they were setting up something, and then they just fumbled it.
Yeah. And everybody got AIDS and shit.
Everybody, I was.
I like that line.
I fucking can't believe that line. Everybody got AIDS. Everybody got AIDS and shit. I'll tell you that. I've heard that line before. I didn't know it was from this movie. I heard people clowning on that line.
Yeah.
I thought that, out of context, everybody in one night got AIDS and shit. But
like
no,
Team America. It's like everyone
Yeah.
has AIDS.
Yeah, for real.
AIDS.
I was like, what happened to this movie? I was waiting for someone to get AIDS. And then, for real, by the end, I was sure that Agent Dale Cooper had AIDS and he was just spreading it to people because he's evil.
Yeah.
But
it was Evil Cooper.
Evil Dale Cooper.
The one from the Red Room.
No, yes, he fucking swapped places and became
the Velvet Room, sorry.
The Velvet Room. It's red.
Well, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Yes, whatever.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, it's just... I don't even understand what they're trying to say. Even with, like characters like Crystal. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me with this character. Because she's pretty awful, consistently.
I could tell what they were trying to do with the character. They were trying to show someone who was once in Nomi's position,
right,
and
like
then grew to the top, and then that's when on the top how she just let the corruption continue, and she was up there and she
benefiting from the corrupt system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was the path that Nomi was on because she was, knocking her off of her throne. So that was kind of like it was going to try to kind of warn everybody about the. The fate of Nomi if she kept going down this path. So I did understand the character in that regard. But
how they actually in practice, it's like
here's the thing: like when you make your villain the same amount of evil as every other character in the story,
it means
there's
nothing.
Exactly. There's no impact. There's no oomph. There's just like
I'll say that
you're just another person in this movie.
I'll say that fucking Gina Gershon is really fucking playing this as evil as humanly possible, and I really appreciate that. Like she's really hamming it up, and because I guess everyone's hamming it up, but she seems like she's having fun with it. Yeah. It feels like everyone else is really honest to God trying.
Yeah.
And which makes it all the more sad that it just does not work.
Yeah. Even the main actress, what's her name again?
Elizabeth
Berkley.
Elizabeth Berkley, yes.
So Elizabeth Berkley, this was her first starring film role, and after this, she still has a career. She still appears in stuff, but I don't think she's had another starring role since, other than maybe the Saved by the Bell reboot. But other than that,
right? I forgot about that.
So I think that's the only time that she's had top billing after this movie.
Yeah.
And she did say that the movie's reception, it made her quit dancing because of how. And I obviously don't wish her any sort of
no. But girl, you were not good at dancing.
Yeah, no. She was, no, well, this movie was just terrible in the way it was put together, and she didn't do a good job in it. But I mean, I don't put all the blame of it on her. There's more problems in this movie than her.
Say what you want about dancing, it's on. At least they knew how to dance.
Yeah, that's true.
In the movie about dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, whenever she is dancing, there's this moment that you see something flip in her mind where she's like, I don't remember the choreography, so I'm just going to sort of flail my body around.
Yeah.
And just it's very rough. And I don't understand why they didn't bring in a better choreographer. was that it? Was it the choreography? Were they telling her to dance like that?
I don't know.
It's really sad because I imagine she's a lovely girl.
Yeah.
And it really sucks that this is what she, got her first starring role on.
It's you could even something like Promising Young Woman, you could say does this story a lot better about how corruption and all these different things affect a young woman and the main girl in that, I forget her name, but she did a really good job portraying that, and I could see where this character could have gone if it was written well, but it just wasn't. And so
they forgot to do that.
But that's so. And that's the thing too, is that I thought that I would have more notes about this movie because of how horrible I heard it was, and it was pretty bad, honestly. I'm not gonna say that it was better or worse than I thought it was going to be, but I will say that it's just so repetitive. There's just any note that I have, I have the same note 10 minutes later because they do the same thing.
Exactly. It's like she goes to an audition and they want her to sexualize herself to get the part, and she storms off because she hates that, but she gets the job anyway, and then they tell her to come to this boat show where they ask her to sexualize herself, and then she storms off, and it's like that repeated over and over again until the end, which is like, I guess, different. But I don't fucking, I don't think that I don't think it is accomplishing the goal that I think you are trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
The reason that I know that it's not is, again, I've seen movies like this before. I've
Yeah.
seen movies about sex workers. I've seen movies about Vegas and how horrible it is. The other one, Leaving Las Vegas, which I didn't mention, is another way better movie than this. The Hangover did a better job at making Vegas look like a hellhole than this movie did, because it was a more entertaining, like, engaging script.
You're not even wrong.
So, like, yeah.
and it was like, the performances are bad, but they're not bad in like a way that's like in your face about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like if Troll 2's on one end and then like Daniel Day-Lewis is on the other. Like, this is somewhere closer to Troll 2, but it's in this vague spot where it's like, I don't really know. The script though is like abysmal.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I would say that I don't think. I feel bad for Elizabeth Berkley because I don't think she could possibly do anything with these with the lines that she's given.
Yeah, and on that, I guess we could go into a little bit of the resurgence that this movie has gotten, because a lot of people do, I guess, watch this movie ironically as like an entertainment piece of, like, a so bad it's good kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it is this thing where it's gotten, obviously its reputation precedes it, but it has screenings, and apparently people go Rocky Horror style. Wow. And they like sing on and they like sing and dance along to the songs. And I'm gonna say this, so Rocky Horror, you could argue whether that's a good movie or not, but those songs are really catchy and they're really like engaging. The songs in this movie suck.
I couldn't tell you a single one of them.
Yeah, no, like, just all the music in this movie like sucks. So like, I just, I can, because there was some parts of this movie I did laugh at, like that line that I brought up at the beginning. It must be weird not having anybody come on you. Like, that's funny.
Yeah, there's some really out of pocket.
Like, that's funny.
Okay, you know what? Just to interrupt you for a second, the only good characters were, again, the fat lady and the manager at the strip club that she starts at. They are great. I love what's his Robert Davi is playing Al, the strip club manager, and he is hamming it up so good. Yeah, and he is having so much fun with it, and he's saying the most insane shit.
Yeah, no, he was great in it, because like, he was in a movie where everybody's like, doing the cheesy stuff. He really stands out and takes his all and makes sure that he's noticed, and he is. And
he really is, yeah. And he's only got a couple scenes. Once she leaves the strip club, they show up at Goddess for a little while, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. And then they never see him again. Again, there's just a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah, again, the scene with the monkey made me laugh.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
The scene with, again, the pool sex with Kyle MacLachlan and Nomi at the end, that was like, I don't know who the fuck like thrusts like that. Like, I've never had sex in a pool. Is that how you do it? I don't know.
There's a lot of, well, there's 0 G's involved, so I imagine your rhythm gets thrown off, and so it looks a little weird. Not as weird as what Elizabeth Berkley's doing here, though. I don't know why she keeps bending her. She keeps like doing this thing where she like bends all the way back, like Voldo from Soul Calibur. And it's like, my dick is going to recede into my body. This is not sexy, even a little bit. She looks great. Like,
she's not like ugly. Like,
she's
not the problem. It's the way the framing and the performance and the choreography and all that stuff is so poorly done. It's just like, I've had like hot girls do a really bad job at getting going, and that's
I don't
exactly
know.
What
this is.
Yeah, exactly. So, So again, like, if you do enjoy this movie, I can kind of see like some elements that are kind of funny. And again, Joe Esther has said that, he did write it with, kind of tongue-in-cheek in mind, with, jokes like those lines that we've said. And, I guess I get it on some level. I hear that this movie is big in the LGBT
I could see that.
I mean, I guess
hardcore.
like burlesque shows and stuff like that. If you're into that type of thing, maybe this will be up your alley. But I don't know. I don't really think that this is something I'm going to probably seek out again.
No.
Like, I didn't find it that
That's
funny.
the thing.
It's like,
as a member of the fucking LGBT community, I'll say this right now. I love shitty, terrible movies. Like, the worse the better.
We watched Ben and Arthur. That's
We
great.
watched Ben and Arthur. Yeah. Exactly. Ben and Arthur is another example of a movie that's just terrible. But I love it. It's way worse than this. I'll say that. But it gives me way more happiness. Anything Neil Breen has made, the Room, of course. I actually personally think that after last season, about halfway through, you start going into hysterics because you don't understand what's going on. If for the first half, if you choose this at like bad movie night, I'll say this right now, if you have a bad movie night, if you choose after last season at bad movie night, the whole room is going to think you're an idiot for the first hour. But you got to convince them. You say, no, hold on, because you eventually go insane, and then it gets better. I've never forgotten that movie before.
And some people have even reassessed Showgirls as a good movie because they say that it is a satire and it is doing all this stuff ironically. No. And I will say that if this is a satire and it's doing all this stuff ironically, I've seen that done better. I've seen like all these different things like done better than Showgirls, and
I bet there was a movie that came out in 1995 that did this that was better.
Probably.
Like, I bet if you looked, you could find one.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, maybe there will be some scenes that I look up from this again as like an amusing thing, but I will not.
Which scenes?
Not even scenes, just lines really. But like I might, I'd probably look up some lines that I thought were kind of funny. If you go on
little moments,
like little moments here and there in like small pockets.
There's a reason why everybody got AIDS and shit. I knew about that. I didn't know it was from this, and it's the only thing I knew about this.
Yeah, exactly.
People pick and choose their favorite things, and I guess if that's what it is, and there's like little moments in this that make you happy, that's great. Yeah. But I would not sit through this movie for those little moments.
Yeah, no, I would not watch this in its entirety again, personally. And then again, you could say it's a satire, but it was labeled as a erotic drama when it came out, and it is neither of those things at all. And you can't say a movie's a satire when you have like a rape scene like in this movie. and I guess you can say it's a satire. You can't say that it's entirely a satire because that was supposed to be depraved and everything. And I gotta say, that rape scene sucked.
Oh, it was awful. We're not even getting into how insensitive and horrible it was. It was like shot and portrayed.
Yeah,
it was just bad.
It was just. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you do a rape scene in a movie, like you run that risk if your movie's not well written that you could come across as insensitive or anything like that. But okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that everything else in this movie was really well done, and that
in a perfect world,
that rape scene happened. It still would have just been hot garbage. Like it was like watching a porno when they were doing it, and then she just kind of crawls out into the main hall. It's
why'd they let her go?
Yeah, exactly. You're just gonna let her go back into the party.
She just walks out with like blood coming out of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
And so that whole thing, that's Molly's only real purpose in this movie.
Which is so fucked. As the only, I'm gonna say the only woman of color in this whole movie, for her to just sit on the sidelines for the whole movie, show up at the end, get raped, and not even have any words after. She is in a coma until the credits roll. That is so fucked up. Who the fuck Joe? I want to say Joe Estevez. That's not right. But like, what? Why? Why did you have her do things? She has scenes where she comes close to being related to the plot. She works at Goddess multiple times.
She gets her the job at the strip club in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
After a few things like taking her in, getting her a job and everything, she's just kind of hanging out with her in these weird scenes until the end where she gets raped and beaten, and then all of a sudden it becomes a revenge story
for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, for the last 15 minutes, Naomi decides this is the thing that is, I actually care about other people now, and I'm going to go after.
She doesn't. That's the thing. Is again, and I want to say, Naomi is bad at the beginning, and there's a lot of moments where you sort of have to have your character look back and understand that they have changed in a fundamental way that has altered their morality. And that's what the whole scene with Kyle MacLachlan in the pool is she's throwing away, how like she's sleeping with someone for like a job as Crystal's understudy. That means nothing. Like you're betraying your own craft, right? Like, if she wants to be taken seriously as a dancer, then at that moment she would realize, I fucked up, clearly. Yeah. But she doesn't. She just keeps going, and then she pushes Crystal down the stairs, and I think that's the moment, and it just keeps going. And the fact that it takes somebody she knows closely getting gang raped at a party being held by the producers of the show she works for, that's the straw. Like, it feels like I understand that it's a really horrific thing, and that's the only reason why they made it a gang rape is it has to be shocking, because it has to shock you out of your system.
Yeah.
But in reality, you should have realized that you have been acting like a shitty person fucking 5 scenes ago.
Well, that's the thing, is that because she spent the whole movie acting so horribly, when that happens, for most other characters, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense why she'd turn around and do these things. But I honestly didn't believe she would. Yeah, there was nothing in her arc before that made me believe that there would be this tipping point where she's like, oh, I'm going to give up on everything and go after someone because my friend got raped. That's how poorly they portray her character, that I don't even believe she would go for revenge after these people.
Yeah, it all happens, and she says that she won't stay quiet about it, right?
Yeah.
And that's when Kyle MacLachlan sort of his facade falls away, and he's like, I know that you were a hooker before you showed up here, because the whole movie she's sort of trying to hide her past, because she did legit bona fide sex work before, and it's like he's like, you owe us, and I'm gonna tell everybody, and it's like, and she clearly is affected by that, and then I don't even remember, she just decides, no, I am going to go. And here's the other thing, she goes and beats up the rapist, the main rapist.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, she doesn't kill him. She brings a knife, and I feel like I understand why you wouldn't kill somebody if you're in the right mind. But for a character like this, who reacts the way that she does whenever somebody calls her a whore, to have her friend get gang raped, and then she does a big scheme where she goes and goes in disguise and tries to hurt this guy, and she just sort of beats him up.
Yeah.
He does it, she kicks his ass, and then she goes and sees her friend and says, I beat his ass, baby. And then she runs away, which is yeah, that would be what you need to do, but I don't feel, this doesn't feel earned at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, she goes and she meets the same hitchhiker from the beginning,
which is funny. Sure.
So that was kind of funny, but then she just
after the gang rape, I think it's hard to be funny and be a little genuine,
Yeah. So with at the end when she leaves Vegas, it's just kind of you can't do that, really. I mean, your name's on this poster board here.
People will know you.
That's
another thing, is she is not, her face is not disguised when she goes and meets this guy, the rapist.
Exactly.
You met her last night.
Yeah.
You know what she looks like, and he's just so stupid that he doesn't recognize the woman he met last night. I have white woman.
He's just so horny.
I have white woman face blindness, but that's really bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also, the character itself is distinct, whether you have the white woman face blindness or not.
Exactly.
I don't think you could mistake her for somebody else.
Exactly. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean, I guess it sounds like people have gotten positives out of this movie. I'm happy for them.
Oh
if
yeah,
they have.
for sure.
I just no. I even like as an ironic entertainment, I would not like seek this out again. Probably like this is like it's kind of like Birdemic, where it's like for me. I watched Birdemic. I'm like, this is just there's no charm in this kind of bad for me. Like it's just, it's bad, sure, but I never really found it funny, Birdemic, because it was just it's lacking any sort of like personality or charm that like Troll 2 or The Room has, or
Yeah.
like Saving Christmas, and that's what I kind of get out of like Showgirls. It's just it's not. I don't get like the charm or like the things. I mean, again, in isolation there are some things, but that's about it for me. Like I don't.
Yeah, there's a couple things, but like that's not enough. Like
Yeah.
there can't like you can't just sprinkle in a couple of quirky things and write a shitty script and just push it out and make it like a big cult phenomenon.
Yeah, well,
Which is surprising because that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
It's survived as like this cult movie, and I just don't get it at all.
I mean, like it's the thing. It's like if I was going to this Rocky Horror style, and I was like singing and dancing to the song, they're not good songs. Like there's no
fun to be had.
Yeah, there's like these characters are not entertaining in a bad way or anything, or like in any type of way, whether it was intentional satire or unintentional satire.
Exactly.
I will say, like, I don't think that the movie was the worst thing that like I've ever seen or anything like that. I thought it was, just because of like some of the parts that I thought were funny, and I thought they were well directed in certain areas. I think I gave it a higher rating on Letterboxd than you did. I think you gave it a 1.
I gave it a 1.
Star.
Yeah.
I gave it 2 stars, which isn't great, but like I mean, I would say I liked it more than Caligula personally. I liked it more than the fucking Super Mario Galaxy movie. Like honestly, like I was
Yeah.
I was more offended by the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I mean I could just do an entire podcast ranting about that piece of shit. But I mean,
honestly, I could too, but you guys don't want to hear that,
Yeah,
or maybe
I
you
mean,
do. Who
well,
knows? If you do
can
want to hear that,
probably
let us
find
know.
Others that are like
Yeah,
ranting about
I'm
that.
sure people.
But you could also find other people who are bitching about Showgirls. To be fair, so,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, a few other things so. There is a documentary about the re-examination of the movie and its cult status. It's
Really?
called "You Don't Know Me." Like
That's
I
cute.
know me.
That's cute.
Yeah, but like it's not very like well known. I guess it's supposed to be like a best worst movie kind of thing.
Right.
But best worst movie I think is a great documentary.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, but again, maybe I would be interested in watching like how the cult of Showgirls has like grown over. Like there's things surrounding this movie. Like
Yeah.
I would like to know more
The
about
fact
the
that-
cult status that it has. I mean, that helped me appreciate Rocky Horror a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Was like learning about the cult status of it. It's like, okay, Rocky Horror, not a great movie, but at the same time, it's like this. Everything that has happened around it does make me appreciate it on the level, maybe not on the level of like a fanatic of it, but it makes me appreciate the place it has in film history. So
Exactly.
maybe there would be something like that with Showgirls if I would like look more into it, but I just don't like get anything out of the
Exactly.
movie itself on its own.
Exactly. Like the fact that there is a cult phenomenon about this movie is deeply interesting to me. The fact that I don't get it almost makes it more interesting whenever I see a bunch of people who seem to like it clicks with somebody, when in reality this feels like a movie for no one.
Yeah.
This feels like a movie that nobody would like. It talks down to men, it talks down to women, it talks down to anyone,
Sex workers, like
sex workers.
You could watch a movie like, I don't know, say Honora, like that movie. Okay, like it shows a lot of the like depraved stuff that happens in the sex worker world, but you have a character who, even if she's not the most likable character in the world, there's enough about her to analyze and to examine and to try to understand about her. And you could say the same thing about Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights. You could say the same thing about like all these different characters that the character from Guilty of Romance is such a great character. Yeah, like there's so many things that have done what this movie has done better, both before and since it. Even if you're looking in for like just something totally depraved and like uh a shock jock type of movie, just
Yeah.
go watch like early John Waters. Like it's way better than
Oh,
this stuff.
absolutely,
Like,
yeah. Like it is. It's not. It's trying to be shocking. I think that's very much how it was marketed. It was like a very shocking movie, but it's not. It's like it's shocking in that they show so much. Like I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think I've seen. Well, we've watched Caligula, so I can't say that. But I don't think I've seen a movie that was commercially, I don't know about successful, but like released widely in theaters that goes this far. Like you see so much whenever somebody's naked, and the actual content of what happens, like there's a shocking rape scene at the end, but it's not written well and it's not performed well, and it's sort of comical how little thought they gave it. Which is crazy because it feels like that's like your big moment to stick the landing.
Yeah,
you can fuck up when you're flying through the air. You can fuck up as much as you want, but if you don't stick that landing, you're fucked. Like, and they really did not. Like, that's the thing is like the real problem with this movie isn't that it's bad, it's that it's not bad enough. It's just boring for the most part.
Yeah.
And, like, I think you're right. I think it's more closer to a 2-star movie, but the fact that it's so, like, it's just fine for most of it. Like, it's passable, barely passable for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of, it's a movie that is playing. That's what I could say.
Yeah.
Like, whenever
Okay,
I turn on the movie, it is definitely currently playing and on. That is the best I can say.
Yeah, but you're just so right about the pacing. It's like Caligula. It made the sex boring, and this movie makes the stripping boring, and like all the characters boring. And it's just like, and there was, I did think about a lot about Spring Breakers when I was watching this movie, because Spring Breakers is a movie that a lot of people really hate. It's a lot more like, and it's a lot of this, like it's the same repetitive stuff, it's the same like shallow characters. It has a lot of the things that you would see in Showgirls as issues. I actually kind of like Spring Breakers because I see that as like such a criticism of spring break culture and like all these different things that happen. I don't think Spring Breakers is a great movie,
but it's a good satire.
It's a decent satire, and that's what I got out of it. And I understand why people hate that movie, but I personally thought it was kind of funny. Like I thought it was doing what it needed to do kind of well. And Spring Break, like Gaspar Noé does this stuff way better. That's actually, Gaspar Noé is kind of like Harmony Korine, but like with like the actual talent of like
exactly like Climax.
Climax
is an incredible fucking movie.
Irreversible is another movie with like a really big long sex scene or rape scene rather. Is Irreversible, and like the impact of that is way different than it is in this one because like just so much better done. So like all these different things, like going into Showgirls and kind of like coming out of it the way that I did. I mean, I can't honestly say that I liked this movie. Like I just
not even as so bad it's good. It's too boring. It's I don't know how you made tits and stripping boring.
And it's just like boring. Even something like Salo, which I thought had pacing issues. I wouldn't call that movie like, bad. So sleepy, like it's not that bad with the pacing issues. Even though I did have some of the same criticisms with its repetition, with its but that also was kind of the intention of that one because it was a circle in that movie. That's what they were kind of like.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was like a vicious circle of life type of thing. I just find Showgirls is just meanders and doesn't go anywhere, and it's when it's not boring, it might be a little bit funny, but it's also extremely annoying at other times. And I don't know, this one, I think between the three that like we kind of watched for this
the trilogy of
Caligula,
shock.
120 Days of Sodom, and Showgirls was the one that I just feel like I don't have much passion for talking about this compared to the other two.
Yeah,
good
no.
or bad.
Yeah, no, like Caligula was terrible.
Yeah.
But it had so much history to it that it was impossible to not be interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Solo was, I'm going to say, legitimately good at times.
Yeah.
This is just,
Yeah, and there is some interesting history about like the public perception of how it changed, and again, you know, the fact that it was an NC-17 movie with the Saved by the Bell star and how they tried to market that. You know, there's some interesting things around Showgirls, but
the movie itself.
Yeah, the movie itself just does not do anything for me in any regard, you know,
It's
positive or negative. I just feel like bleh, watching it. It's just
very much like The Man Behind the Curtain.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like you hear all this stuff about this movie, and it's very shocking, and you know, it's incredibly sexual, and then you pull back the curtain, and it's just another boring movie about a girl who wants to be a star.
Yeah,
and that's what it is in the end. And I know that some people say it's like a subversion of that movie, like of that trope, but it's not. All the things
how does it subvert it?
I think they subvert, like I've seen it said that Nomi like subverts that type of person because she's very standoffish and she doesn't take shit, I guess, which makes it like
that's what all the arcs of those characters do. I mean,
exactly.
But they do. I guess the one difference is that Nomi was always like that, and then the other characters, you know, grew into that. But
exactly.
Like, yeah, that's the only.
That's the only difference. But all like plot beats, like. This is like hit every plot beat, like corrupt, like managers and like sexual favors for fame and corruption and like it just blends together.
Yeah,
it's a big gray mass, big gray and pink mass. I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I would kind of say about it too. It's just not. I just don't recommend it to. Well, I mean, I guess if you're really interested. But, like, again, even if I was recommending, like, a shock movie or, like, an infamous movie, like I would honestly recommend something like Salo over something like this. Like, I'd
recommend a Serbian film over this. Like,
I have not seen a Serbian film, so I don't know. But, like... but, again, I'm not doing that next time. Fuck you.
Yeah, we're not...
I am done with this shit for a while.
We are done. Unless, you know... unless our guest chooses something absolutely demented, which I can't imagine he will.
Okay, well, let's...
that's perfect.
Drum roll.
So,
what kind of drum roll was that?
Me and Ian went to go see the drama over the last, I think last week.
Which was really good, by the way.
It was really great. Check out the drama. Don't spoil yourself of... If you see the trailers and you're like, oh, what's going on? Don't spoil yourself. It's a great fucking moment in the theater. Like legit, like studio audience sitcom gasps at times.
Yeah.
Great fucking theater experience. Anyway, and there we ran into one of our friends from high school.
Junior high school.
Junior high, yeah. We've been friends since junior high. So our friend Dylan, our friend Dylan. I was gonna say his last name. We know so many Dylans that we call them all by their last names. But yeah, Dylan. Dylan. I don't want to put his last name on blast. Nobody wants that.
I think that he's probably mentioned on OK Find Me that way if you go back.
Oh enough. Yeah, hold on. We could probably run that back.
All right, so Dylan Coughlin.
So, yeah, Dylan Coughlin's going to be our next guest. So, and he's got a great movie for us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm really fucking excited. So, yeah, basically, he has chosen...
Hundreds of beavers.
Fucking right?
I know.
It's like, I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah.
And the fact that he chose it and told me about it.
Yeah, and we already, like, totally... know what movie it is, and we're totally not getting this information after the fact. And, this is all just live in the moment.
It's crazy we were even talking about that.
Yeah,
why even bring it up?
Well, it's just like one of those hypothetical scenarios that might happen. Like Epstein Island. So, anyway.
So apparently the next episode, I think, hold on. So in the next episode, we're going to Epstein Island with Dylan Coughlin?
All right, let's do it.
No!
Meet Woody.
We're going to meet Woody. No. All right. Well, fuck. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening
So
again.
if you don't want to be spoiled for that wonderful movie,
Yeah,
watch it before our next podcast.
If you don't want to be, and if you want to watch it, it's available.
Amazon Prime Video and Mubi in Canada.
Right.
yeah,
So, yeah.
so, I mean, it's very easy to access.
Yeah. Exactly. Perfect.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's gonna do it for us on this edition of the Unrealistic Elephant Podcast. Still good. Still going strong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still,
How do you like it so far?
yeah. Everybody got AIDS and shit.
Everybody got AIDS. Shit. You know what? That's what I'm gonna say. Practice safe sex. You never know who's gonna have AIDS and shit.
Yeah. And if it's in Vegas, then probably everybody. So,
Probably every single person.
yeah. Fuck
So,
Vegas.
Fuck Vegas.
that's a note to leave on. So
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you guys next month.
bye-bye.
Bye.